Well, she's a no-brainer. She has stunning beauty. She writes all her own songs. She's really the most gifted young female talent around. And so, yeah, it's you just see her and you know that she's an all-timer.
Yeah.
But people in the music industry really don't like Clive Davis, most of them. And his criminality is kind of amazing.
Clive Davis has died, and some people have reacted by saying the real tragedy is that Whitney Houston never lived to see him face the consequences they believe he deserved. While that may sound harsh, comments like these reflect the lingering resentment many fans still feel. After hearing Alicia Keys speak about her experiences, some argue it becomes easier to understand why Clive Davis remains such a controversial figure. Critics believe he was quick to distance himself from Whitney Houston once she was no longer willing to follow the expectations and rules that had been placed on her career.
Shame, shame, shame. Shame on you. Yeah, because, I know.
Clive Davis passed away a few days ago, peacefully at home, leaving behind a fortune reportedly worth around $850 million. While many public figures have honored his legacy, others have reacted very differently, saying they believe his influence on the music industry caused lasting harm. His death has reignited years of debate about the complicated legacy he leaves behind. Clive Davis was, in many ways, a walking contradiction. He had an extraordinary eye and ear for talent, helping launch the careers of some of the most iconic artists in music history. His ability to recognize future stars is undeniable, and his impact on the industry cannot be ignored. At the same time, however, he has long been viewed by critics as one of the music industry's most controversial and polarizing figures, with accusations and rumors surrounding his business practices dating back to the 1970s. Many critics argue that much of his immense wealth was built on the success of artists whose lives ended tragically young. Over the years, he has also faced accusations ranging from mishandling artists' careers to putting business interests ahead of their personal well-being, although many of these claims remain disputed. Even so, that hasn't stopped celebrities from sharing glowing tributes, praising his accomplishments, and calling him one of the greatest music executives of all time. Others have questioned those tributes, pointing to stories such as Oprah Winfrey recalling an incident involving Whitney Houston, where she allegedly asked those present not to discuss what they had witnessed
publicly. When we gone behind stage and I asked her about her attention, she was clean. But the day she came to my show then to perform in front of the audience, she was not. And she fell off of the stage. And so even though the audience was there and the audience had cameras, I begged them not to put those pictures out.
Some people joked that the only time they want to hear Oprah Winfrey speak is when she's addressing the long-standing questions surrounding the missing girls from her school in South Africa. It's a harsh opinion, but it reflects the skepticism some critics have toward powerful figures in the entertainment industry. To them, if there's anyone whose influence and unanswered questions rival Clive Davis's, it's Oprah. Following Clive Davis's passing, Alicia Keys shared a heartfelt tribute, writing, "He believed in me from the very beginning when I was just 18 years old, when very few people saw what I was capable of. He stood beside me through every chapter that followed, not in a superficial industry way, but with genuine belief in my limitless potential." His impact reaches far beyond music. It lives on in the countless artists he championed, the dreams he helped bring to life, and the love he poured into so many. There's no denying that Alicia Keys' career took off under Clive Davis's guidance. When he discovered her, he didn't simply offer her a record deal, he invested heavily in developing her as an artist. From her debut album to her public image, branding, and overall career strategy, nearly every aspect of her rise to fame was carefully planned. Davis reportedly poured significant resources into making sure Alicia became one of the industry's biggest stars, and her career was managed with remarkable discipline. She maintained a polished public image, avoided major scandals, and kept the focus squarely on her music. That level of guidance seemed to extend beyond her recordings. Over the years, Alicia has rarely involved herself in industry feuds or publicly commented on entertainment controversies. She has also remained largely silent about rumors surrounding her personal life, including speculation about her marriage to Swizz Beatz. Some critics argue that this reflects the careful media training and professional discipline instilled in artists under Clive Davis's leadership. For Alicia, that relationship clearly helped build a long-lasting and respected career. At the same time, critics argue that not every artist who worked within the same system experienced the same outcome. Some believe those who eventually sought greater creative or personal independence often found themselves facing far greater challenges. Figures like Cat Williams have even suggested that when legendary artists such as Whitney Houston die, powerful people behind the scenes may still benefit financially from their legacy, an opinion that continues to fuel debate about the darker side of the music industry.
In business, nothing is coincidental, or you would be hearing who's losing money. In all of these situations, it's only the artist that's losing. Somebody makes big money. When these rappers get killed, not incidental. Somebody made $100 million and now don't have to talk to that artist or none of their crew, don't have to validate none of their contracts. Now only got to deal with the mama, only got to see her once a year.
Speaking of money, one topic that continues to spark debate is how record labels and music executives can continue earning from an artist's catalog long after that artist has passed away. Following Whitney Houston's death, renewed attention was placed on the financial value of her music and the business arrangements surrounding her career. Some online commentators and blind item websites have even drawn comparisons between Whitney's story and that of Janis Joplin. However, those comparisons remain speculative and have never been substantiated with credible evidence. Before Whitney Houston became one of the biggest stars in the world, Janis Joplin was among Clive Davis's earliest and most successful discoveries. Joplin was just 24 years old when Davis signed her and her band, Big Brother and the Holding Company, to Columbia Records after their breakthrough performance at the Monterey Pop Festival in 1967. Davis later described her as one of the most electrifying performers he had ever seen, and she quickly became one of the defining voices of her generation. After the success of Cheap Thrills, Davis encouraged Joplin to pursue a solo career. She eventually agreed, forming the Cosmic Blues Band and embarking on a new chapter. Although the move expanded her career, it also brought enormous pressure. The demands of constant touring, commercial expectations, and life in the spotlight reportedly became increasingly difficult. Friends and biographers have documented Joplin's long struggle with substance abuse, which worsened during this period. In October 1970, while recording what would become her landmark album Pearl, Janis Joplin was found dead in a Los Angeles hotel room at the age of 27. The official cause of death was an accidental heroin overdose, with alcohol also contributing. Despite this official conclusion, alternative theories have circulated for decades. However, no credible evidence has emerged to overturn the findings of the official investigation. One fact that is not disputed is that Pearl became an enormous commercial success after Joplin's death, and her music has continued to generate revenue for decades. Like many legendary artists, her catalog became even more valuable over time, fueling broader discussions about how the music industry profits from an artist's legacy. Whitney Houston's career followed a very different path, but she too is closely associated with Clive Davis. After discovering her early in her career, Davis played a major role in shaping her debut album and helping establish her as a global superstar. Their professional relationship spanned decades, with Davis often describing Whitney as one of the greatest talents he had ever worked with. When Whitney later signed a reported $100 million recording agreement with Arista Records, the deal was widely celebrated as one of the largest contracts in the music industry at the time. Reports indicated that the agreement included a substantial advance, which, like most recording advances, was recoupable. That meant the advance would typically be recovered through future album sales, touring, licensing, and other revenue before additional earnings would be paid out. At the time, few doubted Whitney's ability to meet those expectations. She remained one of the world's best-selling artists, and her extraordinary talent made continued success seem almost inevitable. Yet the pressures of maintaining that level of fame, combined with personal struggles, would later become a major part of the public conversation surrounding her remarkable but ultimately tragic career.
Those lifetime memories, because you don't forget it. I heard about this young, stunning, beautiful singer who was appearing in her mother's act, and it was a club called Sweetwater, and I went down there, and she was singing backup with her brother for her mother, and then she stepped out to do 2 solos, and the hair on your arms and the tingle goes up your spine, and it was an amazing, of course, it's an indelible experience. It's an indelible memory.
Whitney Houston was one of the best-selling recording artists of all time, with more than 200 million records sold worldwide. At the height of her career, she reportedly earned tens of millions of dollars annually from touring, endorsements, and album sales. Her commercial success made her one of the biggest stars in the music industry. However, the later years of her career were marked by declining record sales and growing financial pressures. After signing a major recording agreement with Arista Records, industry analysts pointed to several factors behind the slowdown in sales, including changing consumer habits, the rise of digital piracy, and shifts in the music business. Like many recording contracts, the deal reportedly included recoupable advances, meaning any money paid up front would typically be recovered by the label from future earnings before additional royalties were paid. Over the years, numerous reports and rumors circulated online about Whitney's finances and the structure of her recording agreements. Some commentators have claimed that these financial arrangements left her under significant pressure, while others argue that many of those claims have never been independently verified. As a result, the exact details of her financial obligations remain a subject of debate rather than established fact. Whitney's death at the Beverly Hilton Hotel in February 2012 shocked the world. Following an official investigation, the Los Angeles County coroner concluded that she died from accidental drowning, with heart disease and cocaine use listed as contributing factors. Despite these official findings, alternative theories have continued to circulate online for years. Those claims, including allegations involving foul play, financial motives, or secret evidence, have not been substantiated by credible evidence or accepted by law enforcement. What remains undisputed is Whitney Houston's extraordinary legacy. Her voice, influence, and catalog continue to inspire generations of artists and fans around the world. At the same time, discussions about artist contracts, financial pressures, and the music industry's treatment of performers continue to fuel broader conversations about how fame, business, and personal struggles can intersect in ways that are both complicated and deeply tragic.
He has surveillance video from the Beverly Hilton, where Houston was staying when she died in February, that supports his story. Contrary to the coroner's conclusion that her death was accidental, Hubel claims that Houston's body shows classic defense wounds consistent with someone fighting for her life.
There is also the fact that a few days before...
Another point frequently discussed by fans is that, just days before Whitney Houston's death, she unexpectedly appeared during an interview with Clive Davis, Monica, and Brandy and reportedly handed Brandy a note. Some viewers believe they can hear Whitney mention that she had almost drowned twice, though interpretations of the footage vary.
Okay, it's for you. 12 today. I have to. I'm just saying love it because I can't. I love it. It's my dad. It's my dad. I'll see you later. I'll see you later. Mom, come see her. Come say hi to Come say hi to your godfather. Come say hi to your goddad.
Another moment that has drawn attention over the years is Clive Davis's reported reaction to the news of Whitney Houston's death. According to various accounts, while many people at the event were visibly shocked and emotional, Davis remained composed and insisted that the evening continue, inviting guests to pay tribute to Whitney. Some reports have also claimed that her body was not removed until after the event concluded to avoid disrupting the gathering. Those accounts have been widely discussed, but remain the subject of differing interpretations.
Well, you're a very small minority, because if you knew Whitney better, you knew she was not there to perform.
Yeah.
This was her favorite night of the year. She came out every year. This party was so part of her.
So you're saying that she
so
would've-
that the family, we spoke to representatives of Pat, who was a manager, and Gary, who was her brother.
Her body was still upstairs.
But we dedicated the evening. Whitney would have wanted this party to go on any more than the Grammys should stop.
I thought that was complete insanity. And knowing Whitney, I don't believe that she would have said, the show must go on. She was the kind of woman that would say, stop everything. I'm not going to be there. You know, I don't know what could motivate a person to have a party in a building where the person whose life he had influenced so enormously and whose life had been affected by her. So they were like, I don't understand how that party went on.
Looking back at Clive Davis's public remarks following Whitney Houston's death, some critics have argued that his response seemed unusually reserved, especially considering how long the two had worked together. To those observers, his comments came across as more focused on the event and Whitney's professional legacy than on expressing personal grief. Others, however, have interpreted his reaction differently, noting that people process tragedy in very different ways. Whitney's passing has continued to generate intense public discussion for years. Alongside the official findings of the investigation, numerous theories and allegations have circulated online about the circumstances surrounding her death and the business side of her career. While some commentators believe there are unanswered questions, none of the more serious claims alleging wrongdoing by music executives have been substantiated by credible evidence. What is undeniable is that Whitney Houston's career was shaped by both extraordinary success and immense pressure. As one of the biggest stars in the world, she achieved record-breaking sales, global recognition, and an enduring musical legacy. At the same time, her struggles with addiction and the demands of fame became highly publicized, fueling ongoing conversations about how the entertainment industry supports, or fails to support, its biggest stars. Clive Davis is widely recognized for discovering and developing many legendary artists, but his legacy has also been the subject of criticism and debate regarding the business practices of the music industry. Those contrasting perspectives continue to shape how many people view his career today. Ultimately, Whitney Houston's voice and influence remain her greatest legacy. Her music continues to inspire millions around the world, and discussions about her life often reflect broader questions about fame, artist welfare, and the responsibilities of the entertainment industry. What are your thoughts on Whitney Houston's legacy and the pressures faced by major recording artists? Share your perspective in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more discussions on music history and entertainment.